Hello and welcome to another episode of the City Event podcast. Since the last recording, we've had two games, obviously Rotherham and then Reading. Good performance, I guess you would say, at home to Rotherham with a 1-0 win. A few things have obviously happened in that game that's going to affect the rest of our season. But then obviously the Reading game away there didn't go as well. It did for probably 80 minutes, but then after that, it went to shit a little bit, you might say. So we'll start with the games and then we'll move on to other bits and pieces in the Bradford City world. Does anybody want to start me on Rotherham, if you can remember that far back? I mean, it's only a week or so ago. 1-0 win, Pennington with an absolute bastard of a header. Beautiful. Any thoughts from anybody on the Rotherham performance?
Yeah, it were a good home win. But you go back to what we said pretty much most games this season, we're just probably not getting enough goals. But previously against Rotherham, we've always struggled. So it's a good win, but you'd expect a bit more goals, really, wouldn't you? With the dominance we had.
Yeah, it were a dominant performance, wasn't it, mate? But not as dominant as we've seen over the last few weeks at home.
Yeah.
We just got the job done, didn't we? We did what we needed to do. They didn't really lay a glove on us. And I can't quite believe they were in the Championship 2 seasons ago, and now they're flirting with relegation out to League Two, and it's mad, isn't it? Like how football can change, and then look at us, we're knocking on the door of the Championship. You've almost got like a full shift of two teams, if it does obviously happen. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it, Ash?
Yeah, definitely. It's sliding doors moments, isn't it? It's like, look at Luton. They've back in League One, struggling a little bit, really. They'd probably expect automatics, really, wouldn't they? And like they might not even get playoffs, really. So it's just how it works sometimes.
Shows how quickly it can change, doesn't it? Yeah, and I guess on them, I don't know what it is, but when these teams are in the Championship so recently as 2 seasons ago, I half expect them to have something, and you think they'll have a little bit of something on the field where they'll threaten us, or at least a player or two where you think, wow, they're good. But it just didn't even look like that at all. They just struggled, and it just looked like a really easy win for us, to me. I guess looking at some of our performances, there is a worry about Jackson. We've now know he's out for a month. Tyreek Wright got an assist. Really good assist as well, to be fair, for the goal. The goal again, as I mentioned before, a belter. Any standouts for you, Ash, performance-wise?
Yeah, Tariq Wright. If you go back to Jackson being out injured, it's a bit of a concern, really, because I think Wheatley's a good player and there's something in there, but I don't know how much time we've got developing someone else's player. Like, we need to be winning games, we need goals now, and it's just not happening, is it? Could possibly put Mullin in, but I don't even know if Alexander fancies him. But to be fair, I think Swan's on the comeback trail, isn't he? So maybe put him there, see if he's still got a goal in him.
Yeah, he's spoilt for choice, isn't he, now, from an attacking perspective. For Tyreek Wright, as I mentioned him before, and we'll come back to Jackson. I'll ask one of the other guys about him. But Tyreek Wright-wise, how many assists do you actually think he's got, Al, this season?
About 5, 6.
He's only on
like
4. He's on 4, which really surprised me. I thought it'd be on 7 or 8 or something like that, because he seems to have had a pretty good season, maybe more so over the last sort of few weeks and months. But I was a bit surprised by that for the position he played. I've not compared that with anybody else, but I did think he'd be on more. But it doesn't really tell the tale of his sort of second half of the season, because I think he's been brilliant, Al.
I thought it was poor first half of the season, but then he's brought himself back into the team, and now you'd probably say he's one of the first names on the team sheet at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't think of any other. I can't think of any other player apart from Nerfil that really, where's the creativity coming from apart from them two? And so we need him to be playing as well as he is at the moment.
Baldwin. That's where your creativity comes from, which is mad, isn't it? But but I know what you're saying, like from a creating chances perspective higher up the field, and obviously he sends those diags out and what have you that starts the move. But yeah, and I think the funny thing is about Tyreek Wright, Torre is probably been our most consistent player all season, and he's been playing at left wing back, and Wright's almost took that position back, and Torre is obviously looking at left centre half or left wing back, maybe if he's fit again, because he did get injured, of course. But it's nice to have that strength on that left hand side. as well as the right as well, to be fair, with Nerful. Jackson-wise, Al, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that could derail the season? Because as Ash mentioned there, we have got Wheatley, who Alexander really does seem to fancy, and I think they wanted him, didn't they, in the summer? But could it be putting your eggs in your wrong basket with Wheatley?
Wheatley's probably as close a player as we've got to Jackson in the fact that he's athletic, quite mobile, big. And I think that's what Alexander wants from his number 9. He's somebody that chases down Harris, and we can take the press from the front. And no disrespect to Humphries, that's not really what Humphries does. And I suspect Wheatley doesn't really want to do that either. He likes to run from deep. If you notice the clubs that he's played at before, his best asset seems to be just running from behind the front man. So I think Alexander will still stick with Wheatley, but basically because that is his attributes that he can run, he can chase, and he's then relying upon Sars and Bobby behind to get the goals, because I don't think Wheatley's going to be the one that's going to get the goals. So he's relying on his 2 number 10s effectively to get the goals.
He's fluffed a few chances, hasn't he, as well? Some of the chances created himself, and he's splitting fans a little bit with Wheatley, because you've both kind of mentioned it there, and Gareth might have a different opinion to us, but I really like the cut of him. He gets himself about. He created 2 chances pretty much as well at Reading, where he got the ball, pivoted, and put it out to, I think it were Wright, possibly. Twice he did the same thing. I actually do like the look of him, but you've got to be scoring goals, aren't you, as a number 9, and especially when it comes to this point of the season where we need to be winning games. And last 2 games we've scored 1 goal, haven't we? And not really look like scoring again. And obviously that were to our detriment on Saturday. Gareth, any thoughts from you on the Rotherham game, mate? Anything in general, player-wise, or just anything that stands out to you?
I just think generally it was a good home performance again. I think we probably played better football against Reading, actually, away, in general. But yeah, the Rotherham didn't have anything on us really at all, did they?
No,
we were just
didn't lay a glove on us, mate.
No. I thought we could have pushed on and maybe got another goal or 2, which I think is probably our weakness at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, totally agree.
If we have a weakness, it's that.
And anybody who stood out to you as well? I mean, the other thing that happened with Baldwin, well, that's obviously in the Reading game I'm talking about now, moving forward a little bit. But we've seen Baldwin and Jackson now potentially both could be injured. I think Baldwin's only a broken nose in it, so they're looking for a face mask. But 2 key players there, Gareth.
Yeah, I didn't see the Baldwin incident, actually. I don't know what I were doing. I don't know if we're making a cup of tea or something. But
I did.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it back?
Was it on a elbow? No, I haven't watched it now because I didn't want to. was it an elbow?
Well, Ash tweeted about this, so I'll let you take it away, mate.
Yeah, it's really strange. So at Reading, in a really right on back row, literally on top of pitch, we got a great view. And Baldwin and Pardy were just shirt pulling, a bit of tit for tat. Next time I looked, he was flat out on his back, and nobody seemed to mention that he's had his nose broken in that situation. And it's just, I think it's a bit strange, really.
Yeah, and if you look at, there is a replay of it, and it's a little bit naughty, really. I mean, it's not a surprise with Powdy because he's that sort of player, and we had him, and we know what he's about. But when you look at it back, it is naughty, but you're never going to get a decision, are you? Referees are never going to see that.
No.
Bring VAR in the EFL. Not
absolutely not.
Yeah, kidding, obviously. But yeah, I guess things like that. You want, it's one of them decisions where you're never going to get, but if VAR did come in, you'd just rather it not get the decision, would you, from all the other stuff that had happened and all the slowing down and that sort of stuff. But yeah, if you watch it back, Gareth, you'll see it is pretty feisty, to be fair. It's a bit of a moment in game.
I'll take a look.
And I guess on the Reading game, Gareth, you might as well carry on, mate. So for looking at that game, for 80 minutes, we were absolutely superb and played them off the park. We looked like we were at home. They looked awful from where I was at. I was expecting so much more. I don't know what I expected, but I expected them to be better. And then whatever, last 5 or 6 minutes, 2 goals, sloppy goals, and game over, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I I lost it completely after that. As soon as I saw the ball go under Sam Walker, I just turned it off, turned the TV off. I couldn't believe
Was
it.
that from your villa in France?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Because you have to be abroad. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought we played really, really well to say we're away from home. We just controlled it. Just from defence to attack, we were just pretty good. But again, it's that case of getting another goal or two. Like we don't shut up shop. It's sort of like an in between thing where we're just like doing well in midfield or whatever. It's weird. Just go and push and get another goal. That's what I want.
I'm going to throw a name at you, Gareth. I'm going to throw a name at you, and I want to see your opinion because I do obviously speak to you separately from this. Matthew Pennington. Now, look at the last two. Right, okay. Just hear me out, and I'll let you respond to me. Last two games.
I slagged him off last time, didn't I?
Yeah, but just bear with me here because I might be agreeing with you a little bit. In the last two games, he scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
However, their goals, Reading's goals, specifically one of them, you might lay on his door a little bit, and some of the other goals we might have conceded recently might be a little bit at fault at times. What are your thoughts on him, mate? Because, like I say, we've spoke about this off air, but what's your overriding thoughts on Pennington?
So I think he's a good footballer, right? I think he's a great defender, and he's obviously got a header in him, and he's got a shot at him now, hasn't he? But it's just, I think he might just be one of those players that just lacks concentration for the whole game or something. He looks very shaky at times. Not all the time. I don't know what it is, but sometimes he just looks almost like League Two level. Sometimes I can't really work it out. And then sometimes be really impressed and you think, oh, he's bombing forward with the ball, or is, like I say, with that header. That header was unreal. That was one of the best headers I've seen. Absolutely.
What about the goal? What about his goal at Reading? What would you call that? Did he take a man on an absolutely thunder bastard?
I'd go thunder bastard.
Just 2 totally different goals, but 2 like proper strikers' goals, and it's mad. And I'm a bit like you, where I'm not overly sold on him, to be honest. 2 goals aside, and I think he's scored as well. I think he scored 3 maybe this season. I don't know. But them 2 goals aside and a couple of defensive, because he actually made a really good tackle on that lad that were on loan from Leeds at Rotherham when he were in on goal, and that was a fantastic tackle as well. He seems to be a man of moments, and then at other times there's these little bits of problematic defending. Yeah, he's not really anywhere in between, is he? So he panics me a little bit. And I felt that about Baldwin last season at times. I felt like he was that sort of player where, one game he could be superb, the next is a red card at Doncaster, you know what I mean? And I think Pennington just reminds me of that. Totally different players, but just that not having anything in between and not that real consistency that you get now from Baldwin. So, yeah, I'm not overly sold on Pennington. Any of you two want to come in on that one? Any thoughts on him?
Yeah, I'll go. I think Pennington's all right.
Yeah, just steady away.
Yeah. I think he's a little bit more than steady away. I think he's a decent player. I think had he not made that mistake on Saturday, we'd have all been saying he put in a really good performance. But just one mistake doesn't really make a game, does it? And I thought
we wouldn't have been in it, would we, if he hadn't scored?
The whole team played. I say the whole team played well, but we never really created anything. So the back line isn't really the problem for me. The problem is always up front. And I'll go with any back line, whether you put Tilt in, whether you put Pennington, Joe Wright, you could slip into him somewhere. Baldwin's the main one at the back. If we lose Baldwin, then I'd say, I don't think it's end of season or anything like that, because I think we've got enough points already in the bank and the home form to make sure that we actually hit the playoffs. But when it comes to the playoffs, I think that's when you miss players like Baldwin, Sarcevic, people like that. Other players can come in and do a job, but they're the ones that you need to have fit at that stage of the season. And I think Alexander knows that. He's tried other players in those positions and just don't. It's not that they don't work, it's the key to what we do. So we can't swap them around. Same with Bobby, really.
Yeah, fair. Any thoughts from you, Ash?
Yeah, I feel like I've lost my train of thought. To be fair, what question?
Pennington in general, as a player, are you a fan of him? Are you not?
Yeah, I think he's solid enough. To be fair, one criticism of Alexander for me is I feel like he changes his backline too much. Somebody put a stat on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, and it was about Cardiff and Lincoln, how many changes they've made over the season. It were a lot less than us, and I feel like you've always got to build from the back, so keep it as consistent as you can, and you've got a good foundation there.
And what's your best back five out of interest, Ash?
You obviously got Baldwin, Till, and then your wing backs. Like the other one, I'm a bit open to suggestions, really.
So
because they switch them so much.
To me, your three should be Torre, Till, and Baldwin, and then your wing backs are right.
Definitely Torre. I forgot about him.
Yeah, but I think Alexander sometimes does, and he plays other people instead. But I think that those have been Tilt, Baldwin, and Torre have been our most consistent all season when they've played. Tilt's had a few moments, of course, but those are our three best centre halves. And if there's a stat out there, Nathan Evans, I'm sure you can put together something that will prove that they are our best three. And then obviously wing backs, you've got Tyreek Wright and Northville. It kind of picks itself to me, and I think this tinkering's happening not only at the back, we've seen it at the front as well. And going into this sort of the back end of the season, it's hard when we can see it from the stands that that's not the way to go about it. Just play your best available 11 on any given game and go from there. But look, winning a loss since we did the last one, it leaves us fourth in the table, 6 points clear of seventh with a game in hand. I know Reading are we don't have a game in hand on them, but they're a little bit behind Huddersfield, just below that. 12 games left in the season. Now, of which there are 6 of them that are at home and 6 away. If we win all home games, that will leave us on 76 points, and that's if we lose the rest of our away games. Last year, the last spot in the playoffs were Leyton Orient, and they got 78 points. So that's only 2 points, along with winning all your home games that we need. Well, I mean, that's just on average. It might be that we need 80 or whatever. So it's not actually a million miles away from happening. We're well in there. And obviously teams have got to play each other, but we do have a really good running. So as much as the Reading result is frustrating and the way that we capitulated so late, looking at where we are is absolutely mad to me, given where people expected us to be, at the start of the season based on the squad. So I just hope that they'll look at that table. That players always say, managers say, that they're not interested in that. They just go to the next game. But I think that's absolute bollocks.
They definitely are. They know they're in with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they know they're within a shout. So just go and try and win every game. You only need, from what I said there, you need 7 or 8 wins from your games left. And you're absolutely up there and they're in the playoffs. It's mad, isn't it, not to go for it and play your best team, Ash? Don't rest people. Only when you need to, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like he bombs people out as well, so Wright disappears for weeks and he's back in, and then he'll bomb him out and bring Kelly in. We need consistency at this time at stage of the season.
Yeah, and for me, for me, just to go back to, I know you talked about it before, but the Wheatley thing is, do you carry on playing him? Because there's a player in there. So do you wait until he clicks on, or do you sort of keep? It's such a strange one for me.
You don't. You can't wait. Look, I'm like you. I like.
But the next game might be his best game. It's one of them.
But is it worth gambling, or do you go with somebody like Mullin, let's say, who seems to be out of the team at the minute, who will score goals and he's shown that he can score goals? People argue not at League One level, whatever. But he's a natural goal scorer, isn't he, really? And I would be tempted to put him in. I think it'll be him or Humphreys that will start in the 9 on Saturday, much to your pleasure, I'm sure, Gareth. But yeah, I just don't. I just think, is it going to come to a point where he keeps doing it week on week and waiting for Wheatley? Do you know what I mean? And that worries me, Gareth, because we can't wait for goals. We need goals now.
Yeah, well, that's the dilemma. But again, like I said before, his next game could be it. It could be past his sort of not probation period, but something, you know, it might be past all that now, and he might nick a goal, and then that's it. He's off. But it's football, isn't it? You don't know. It's like we've got Ash mentioned Will Swan. He's obviously scored. What's he? He's got 7 this season so far.
Yeah, early
Pretty
goals,
good
and then he
return,
went to shit, didn't he? Rotherham away, he just absolutely fucking melted on pitch. Pretty much, didn't he? He missed two. Yeah, he missed two sitters, and then after that, it was just like, Will Swan's not scoring again. What were your dad who said that? Or were it Smithers' dad? What was it? Will Swan never again, I think it was.
Yeah,
he used. But he has scored.
That was Chris's dad, that, yeah.
Yeah. I thought we had for some reason. But yeah, we have got the firepower there, so why persist with somebody who's not scoring? He's doing some good work in between, but we need goals now more than ever. We need to keep ourselves up and amongst it. And for me, you can't rely on a lad who's not actually hit the back of the net. He's had, 5 goals at it now, maybe, and 2 starts in that, and he's not scored. I like him. Like I say, I'm not sort of bashing him here too much, but I think you need to start somebody who has scored this season. And really, if you actually look at it, Humphreys is probably your best option. We'll argue to a blue in the face that he's not a number 9, but he scored goals, hasn't he? So do you put him back in?
It's like Ash said about the consistency as well. From now on, you probably do need to keep your same spine of your team at least, and that number 9 is obviously the top of the spine. So, yeah, you could argue maybe Will Swan because of the 7 goals, but yeah, Humphreys, yeah, probably stick with him, I think.
Al, thoughts? I know you don't think Humphreys is a 9, but
no, I agree with you. I think he'll play him at 9. I think he's got enough goals on board now, and he's played enough times up there to know what the role is. So, and Alexander seems to have a lot of faith in him. So, you see, it's a shame that Jackson's out, because I think Jackson showed enough to warrant being played there on a permanent basis. He's not a goal scorer as such, but he does what Alexander wants him to do in that role. So maybe he'll give Mullin a chance, but you got to feel for Mullin. If he comes in, it's one-off games here and there, and as a goal scorer, you really need to get a rhythm going. And he's not going to get a rhythm going, coming in one game here and then missing 2 or 3 games, and coming in on another game off the back of it. He needs to get a lot of starts in to get the rhythm going, so he can get that feel of scoring goals again. So it'd be interesting. Be interested to see who he brings in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this Saturday, of all Saturdays over the last sort of few weeks, when we've all been a bit sort of guessing it, I think this one's probably the one that's the hardest to decide what he's going to do. I think Wheatley starting on Saturday were a bit of a shock, to be honest. I thought he might have dropped him back out again, but he didn't. He stuck with him, but we just can't afford to be doing that. You need players that are going to make the impacts when they're on the pitch. Sarcevic needs to be on the pitch. Bobby needs to be on the pitch, and then your best number 9. I agree that Jackson would be that man. Would he be fit? Hopefully, it'll be only a month, and we'll see him before the end of the season. But yeah, I think it'll be Humphreys. I really do. Against Orient on Saturday, which is a big game, especially for them as well. But we'll come back to that and talking about that as we go along. Is there anything we've missed about the Reading performance? I mean, I think a lot of people will be listening to this expecting us to bash them to bits because of how they fell to pieces. One of the things I saw was Sam Walker, and I think Gareth alluded to this. The ball just sort of went straight underneath him. But actually, when you look into it, statistically, he's one of the best goalkeepers in the EFL this season, based on save percentages and clean sheet percentages. Sometimes you look at it and you think he's being beat easy there. And I think I would probably agree with that at times. But then he does make some really, really good saves. There's been 2 this season that were absolutely world class. One that he sort of clawed out, if you remember, very Gordon Banks-esque, or David Seaman in that famous FA Cup game against Sheffield United. But yeah, do I think that if we went up to the Championship, Sam Walker would be our number 1 goalkeeper? No. But do I think he's solid in League One? Probably, yeah. Anybody got up to add on Sam Walker at all, or goalkeeper in general?
I'm a big fan of his, to be fair. Like,
He seems
it's literally the last line of defence. It wasn't his fault at Reading. I think there were a few lapses in defence.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. You know, Matt, is it Matt Ritchie who scored their second goal? Not overly tall, is he?
Yeah, 37.
And the way that, not
No.
overly tall, not overly young, and the way he scored that goal is just poor. A lot of people have pointed at Alexander for the changes he's made, and again, the statistics that's come out they say that this season, when he has put a defender on for an attacking player, we've managed to see games out, and it's been seen as a positive. But obviously, brought Joe Wright on for Bobby on Saturday, and it's been seen as a real negative. Now, I can understand it in a way because we were on top in the game, and you want that attacking threat, and we brought Joe Wright on, and it just totally went. The shape stayed very much the same, but we just lost that attacking threat. But I don't think that he did the wrong thing. I just think it just blew up on the pitch in front of him, and it was just one of those situations where, for me, it's on the players. I feel like they went within themselves and their asses fell out a little bit, to be honest. You could see by Max Power's body language after the game as well, he was not an happy man. And rightly so. They just totally fell to pieces.
Yeah, I think on the substitution for me, I think initially I was probably like a lot of people in that, bringing the defender on for and we, like you say, Jamie Rayner showed us the stats, but I think my issue is the response to their three subs. So he's done it in response to it, but I think bringing another player on. So take Bobby off for an attacker. I can't remember who there would be, but maybe Humphreys on the left. And then Joe Wright for Pennington maybe, or something like that, just to freshen it up. But then it's like Matt Bauer said on that podcast that when you put defenders in, they're not used to the game. You've got to get up to speed. If you've only got 5 minutes left, you're a bit like that everywhere, sort of thing. So I don't know. It's the stats show that it works generally. But I think in response to those subs, he maybe could have done something different. That's the only thing I'd highlight.
To me, the players had every opportunity to get themselves 2-0 up in that game before he starts making any substitutions. And that'll have probably been the plan as well for before the game, that we get to 85, 86 minutes, whatever it was, and we make that sub, and then you see the game out. I just can't. As much as at times I will blame things on Alexander, like the other week when he made those 5 or 6 changes and we were absolutely shocking. That were absolutely on him. But there's only so much he can control on that pitch, and I think he'll be as frustrated as all of us that they're just totally capitulated under that pressure. The other thing to mention is the way that they scored them goals. Joe Wright has come on that pitch is probably the tallest man in our squad to deal with balls into the box and defend. And whatever happened. But I just think that sometimes they've got to look at themselves and rather than pointing fingers, personally. And I don't think it wrong Greza, me, at all on Saturday. Any further thoughts on it before we move on?
To be fair, at the time, at the game, it just felt like the wrong time for the sub because Baldwin had been down for over 5 minutes. So you knew we were getting a lot of added time on. We didn't really look like we were under any threat whatsoever. So I feel like he should have waited till past 90 minutes. But still, it still could have happened, like I've calmed down a lot since then, to be honest. If we'd have done this on Monday, it'd have been a different story.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's like Gareth said earlier on as well, like, and you being there, that frustration and anger that you get, after that, especially when you lose so late and you've controlled the game, there's nothing in the world like this. If you'd have lost the game where they were 2-0 up and you'd have scored a late goal in 90th, 80th minute, you won't be as mad because you think, oh, they've had a go, they've come back. But the opposite to that, when you capitulate, it's so frustrating. And I think there'd be a lot of people in the same boat. And anybody that did go to Reading, I didn't. If anybody parks in that car park near the ground, I know Ash didn't because we spoke about it before. That probably added to the frustration and the woes because when I went there in the Cup 2014, I was stuck in that car park for about an hour and a half. Honestly, we were horrendous. But yeah, that's another thing that probably ruined your day. Soz about that for bringing it up. But if you were one of those people, I feel your pain. All right, so we're gonna move on.
What the fuck is that?
Nearly started curtain twitching then.
Al's panicking. Pack your bags, love. They're coming for us. So basically, I've got a soundboard, and I thought it was a good opportunity to use another one. As I keep bringing up, I've got a little game for you guys. Now, as you know, with social media, it doesn't always disappear. Things that we put out there into Facebook and Twitter and other places, unless you do go out and delete it. So these guys are unaware, but I've had a little bit of a flick through some of their accounts on social media and found some posts from a few years ago, let's say. And what I want you to do is to try and guess, or if you know straight away it's you, who it was. Now we shall start with, let's have a look. We'll start with this one. So very Bradford City relevant. So if anybody watching along on YouTube, you'll be able to see this, so you can see that it is genuine. So on the October the 14th, 2018, one of our panelists, and it could be one of the guys that are on today or the other guys, so Hobbsy, Deck, says, "Good morning, everyone, apart from Edin Rahic." And this were on the October 14th, 2018. Anybody want to own up to that one?
That might be Leon.
No? Anybody? Any other guesses?
I've seen that. I've seen that before. I'm not saying it's me, but I've seen it.
Yeah, you might have done.
So I might have liked it.
Is that on Facebook?
Yeah, this is a Facebook post. So again, for
it looks like something I'd put, but I hadn't used it.
No, it's got to be Leon. It
says, "Good morning, everyone, apart from Edin Rahic." So this was 2018, so very, very much in amongst the time of him making a mess of things. So, Gareth, you have seen it before because you put this one out there on Facebook. Yeah,
right. Okay.
In the October.
Yeah, I don't remember doing it.
No memory of it.
Well,
I really
point
like
though.
It's absolutely fair. And it's. I'll be saying that tomorrow as well.
By the way, if you are listening, Edin, I'd love to get you on and we can interview you about your view of things when you're at the club. That'd be really interesting. Not that
he lives in Baildon, apparently, doesn't he?
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently so. And apparently he's still there, isn't he? Supposedly.
Yeah.
So just a precursor on some of these. They're probably not child appropriate. So if there is any children listening along with you now, or watching along, it might just be worth just switching it away from their eyes.
Mine was all right.
And again, just exactly that's why I started with that. And just to point out that I don't condone any of these statements or tweets or Facebook posts before we do begin. Just wanted to post that now as well. Quick disclaimer. So this is another one from December the 12th. This is from. I'll let you compose yourself, gents. So December the 12th. 2010.
Al written all over it.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's Al. That
Al's lost the plot. So let me just read it out before anything's admitted. So on the 12th of December 2010, 16 years ago, can I add? Somebody has taken it upon themselves to write on a Facebook status. "I can't stop thinking about Christina Aguilera's fun bags."
Oh dear. I
mean, what would possess you to just think, right, I'm going to put that on my social media so everybody can read it, friends, family. Any guesses on who that is, guys?
Al. Got me.
Why are they always coming at me? I definitely don't remember writing anything about Christine Aguilera's chebs. Not at all. I could have done, but I don't think it was me. I'll go with.
Well, it's Christina as well, not Christine. You just called her
Christine.
You just called her that as well, Al.
That definitely is
Mate.
that me that's put that?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, so that's giving that away. I mean, Christina Aguilera could be like a tribute act of some kind, like a one of these that you see in Benidorm. Just saying.
Hold on. Oh, did I honestly put that?
Yeah. So to confirm, this was you, Al. Yeah, in December as well, around Christmas when it's family time. This is what you've put on your social media.
In fact, that's weird because that's my birthday, so God only knows what we're thinking that day.
Well,
12,
it's
yeah.
obvious what you were thinking, mate. Yeah. So yeah, that was you.
Come on.
Honestly, when I was looking through these, I were in tears, and I couldn't believe some of the gold I found that I just wasn't expecting. So yeah, that was the second one, and some of these they do get good. So we'll put this one on now. This one's a little bit more recent, and this is a tweet. So it's at Ryan Sparks when he was on X, and this is on the 16th of August 2021. And it says, "Hi Ryan, my grandma's asked me to mention that her and a number of others in Block A of the Cop on Saturday had bird fouling all over their seats when they arrived. They had to get the stand manager to clean
that's
them.
me, innit?
Other than other than that, a very successful homecoming. Now, this to me, it tickled me because you took it upon yourself to tweet the city CEO to tell him about bird shit on your grandma's seat, and I just think that is proper funny. So, yeah, anybody want to admit that?
Do you want happy, my grandma? You know, she's fuming. Yeah, that was me.
What, did he respond to you in any way? Or were the bird shit cleaned up?
Did he fuck?
Yeah, did he heck?
I love that.
Yeah, it might have been cleaned up. He didn't respond.
Yeah, to be fair,
I
Ash,
got 2 likes.
You did. But I had to hide any comments or anything. But what I will say after this, please don't go and delete all your old stuff because I need more stuff going forward for these sessions. So there might be some further gold dust. But because Ash doesn't have a Facebook account, and I think even your Twitter only goes back a certain way back.
Yeah, I used
that
to get
were
banned all the
the
time.
best one. Well, there you go. Probably for being a troll or whatever. Yeah, I know about you, Ash. Kidding. Bradford Ghost. Aha, yeah. Look on Twitter. There's some similar posts going on there, isn't there, mate? Yes, yeah.
He copied me
yourself from
about 4 hours later.
He copied me. Why don't you tweet Ryan Sparks and tell him?
I will do.
Might do something about it for you, mate. Right. Moving on from that one. Another one I really liked. Okay. Scrolling down. This is another one. So this is on the 25th of November. 20.
Yeah, I guess that one. There's a theme here.
Right, there's people listening. Let me just read it out first. So on the 25th of November 2013, it says, "Is there anything better than stroking a furry pussy on the settee?" Now, again, seasonal in the wintertime, 2013. Good season for us, actually. Good years, 2013, wasn't it? Any thoughts on that one?
Well, he outed himself, didn't he?
Yeah, and they don't want to say it's you anymore, Al, because you're pretty much getting offended that people point out it's you when it is you.
And they were thinking of Christine as well.
Yeah.
Is anything better than stroking a furry pussy? I'm trying to remember why I said it.
Well, you were trying to be funny, weren't you? Obviously, because I'm sure you had a cat on your knee.
Yes, it was a cat, definitely. It's going to have to be in it. I can't be anything else.
Thank you.
Can't be that old stone that I'm married to, can it? Anyway.
Oh, you can't say that. She's listening. She's behind that door.
No, she's watching Darcy from room.
Oh. Anyway, thanks for clearing up that it was actually a cat. Just because we might have thought it was something else.
Yeah. I mean, I could mention something, but let's move on.
Yeah, I'm removing that from the screen. And on that note, there's just one more. So this is from May the 22nd, 2012. It reads...
Yeah,
Paul,
I know that one.
It says, "Paul Jackson, I'm going to have fun wiping the grin off your fucking ugly face. all £52 worth your excuse for a human being. Now, again, the fact that
Yeah.
somebody's posted this on social media just really makes me laugh. Any thoughts, Al?
Yeah, I could tell you a story behind it if you want.
Yeah, go on, go ahead.
Right. All the way back to 2012, I worked with him and I lent him a power tool. And he had it stolen, so he bought me one back. Now, mine was pretty much brand new. He brought me this thing back off eBay that was in bits, basically. So I had to take it to a service place, and the service did. It cost me £52. So I tried getting my money back off him, and then I just never got it. So that's what it's all about. Just me, just being angry about him. And to be honest with you, if I did see him now, yeah, I don't know. I probably would wipe a smile off his face, but
it's inflation. He owes you well more now.
Yeah, I mean that's 40.
And he's a Leeds fan as well. He's a Leeds fan as well, so he deserves a slap.
I
not all you Leeds fans, not all of you. No,
They will be,
like
they
they're
will
going to
be
be
listening.
listening to. No, they're too arrogant. They'll be listening
Meet you
to
at farm shop.
yeah, Keelan farm shop.
Yeah.
And just before we move on from funny stories, Al, you've got something to share, haven't you, about your days in an academy back in there? And I'd love for the other guys to hear this. He told me this tale a few weeks back, and I was rolling around laughing. So I feel like you need to share it with the room, mate.
Right. Oh God. In a previous life, in another job, we were at a training centre, and it was a training centre where you stayed over, and it was for a fair few weeks. And one of the guys on the course got, shall we say, quite friendly with a female counterpart on the course, and we knew that he was married, but he was kind of keeping it secret. But he didn't realise that, so we basically ransacked his room, emptied the wardrobes, and we'd in his wardrobes while he went to the bar with this lass. And then, so there's two of us in the wardrobe, and two lads hid under the bed. So, so they came back from the bar, obviously a little bit worse for wear, and got down to the nitty gritty, shall we say? And when one of the lads under the bed broke wind. Now I can only assume that the guy thought that the break of wind had come from the lady's what should we say, nether region, starts laughing
Very
in the
pussy.
wardrobe. It's and we try all those laughs in it wardrobe, and she says, "Can you hear something?" And bloke's obviously he's had too many beers, and he's down on the honey pot, isn't he? He's going for honey pot, like. And I think, and then she lets one rip again. No, he lets one rip under bed, and bloke stands up and like thinking, "Are you doing fanny farts here or something?" And she looks at him. She says, "No, there's somebody in the room." And then she sort of like bends over at bed, looks under. There's these two lads under bed giggling their heads off. And one of them's because everyone keeps breaking wind. And then he opens wardrobes, and there's audit wardrobe and all that sort of stuff, like, yeah. And then next thing you know, we're all on bed, aren't we? And just like, yeah. Oh dear.
So,
what can
I mean, to me, when he told me this, just, you know, that when you're a bit younger and stuff like that's proper funny, you know, when one of your mates is pulled or whatever, and like the actual fact that you went through with two of you under bed and two in wardrobe, and he actually like dropped his guts under bed with them. Like you can imagine how funny that would be.
There was hardly any room in the wardrobe at all. We had to empty it completely. Took all his clothes out and put it in another room. And when literally you're that close to each other in wardrobe, it's like literally, anytime you move, the wardrobe kind of like rocking from side to side. How they were completely both oblivious to this, obviously, you think, surely you must know there's like two people sat under your bed. Because every time she kept rocking on bed, underneath at bed kept hitting them, and they kept giggling as they did it. Like, surely they must know they're under bed. No. No, he's just carried on like, yeah. Seeing his little white ass going up and down like that, like.
Brilliant,
Dear.
honestly.
Yeah.
Out like that, I absolutely love it. And you know, anytime it's told, I don't know if you could see me then, but I'm creasing in half here. Just the because I've got a really vivid imagination and I can see it happening, all of it in my head. And yeah, I'm breaking my voice now. But yeah, absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing it. And if anybody else has got any funny stories to share with us, guys, feel free. Gareth or Ash, anything that might top that. Top trumps.
I don't think I can top that.
No.
Maybe think about it for next week.
Maybe next week.
So as you can see, we are a podcast that takes ourselves really, really seriously and really professionally with things like that, and that will make the cut. It's better than Gareth's waffling. So back onto some City talk. Now, season tickets. Bit of a strange week, really. So last week they put a bit of a tease on. They did City on X to say something like "This is our house," and it were like a start of a video. And a lot of people said, "Look, it's time for season tickets. That'll be what it is." So that's what we were kind of all expecting. But obviously, as there's been talks of buying the ground, and Ryan Sparks has moved on to say we're not probably buying it, but we're going to probably take the lease out again. And then there's the M-Bank stuff as well, becoming a sponsor. People are making out they might be the ones sponsoring the stadium because the lease is up on that at the end of the season as well. So obviously we're waiting for this video. In between that, the early bird tweet went out for the season tickets earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday, if I'm correct. So then you're thinking, actually, it might be something in this. You know, they've already tweeted about the season tickets, so why would they do that and then release a video about, you know, potentially doing the same thing? But obviously we got to today, and it's announced that it is the video for season tickets. Before we go on to the prices and all that kind of stuff, is it just me who finds that a little bit unusual and a little bit like remember the Leeds thing when they said don't go to bed just yet? Like, is it just stringing fans on a little bit for something that's not that exciting? Just a thought.
It's a bit silly, really. I think you should know your customer. Like, we've probably got one of the most active hashtags on Twitter. So, like, throwing us a bone like that without thinking about it's a bit silly, really. Like, yeah, obviously it's season tickets time, but they've led us on a bit there, and we've all had conspiracies going around. So yeah, not great. They've not really thought about it, have they?
It's fine as long as you don't mention it on Wednesday, because that's pointless, isn't it? Don't tell us how much it is the day before you're about to. Is it literally just a video? That's all it was.
Yeah.
They do these campaigns, don't they, every year?
Yeah.
With season tickets where they'll film something, and they've actually been, some of them over the last few years are probably a little bit better, in my opinion, as well, than this one that they've released. But like you've just mentioned, even if they didn't put the tweet out about season tickets and they just released that video and that was the announcement, no problem. Absolutely no problem. And then, look, I'm not saying there's a massive problem. I just don't quite get the thinking these days of some of these football social media accounts and the way that they operate. It seems to be that a lot of it is done for like people's CVs and portfolios for when they may be moving on in the football careers. That might be quite cynical of me. I don't know, but otherwise, I just don't quite see the point in it personally. Is that me being harsh, Al? I don't know.
No, completely agree with you. I think it was a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it, really? Everybody was thinking maybe it's something to do with sponsorship, buying back the ground. They're the two big things that seem to be up in the air at the moment, whether we're going to get the ground back or even taking the lease up, new lease. We already knew the season ticket deals were on what they were going to be, so it's all, the timing was all a bit wrong, really, wasn't it? It didn't bother me personally. I wasn't that bothered, but I think when you'd expect, or the hashtag is expecting something, or social media is expecting something, I think to lead them on like that, I guess, well, I don't know. I think they can do a bit better than that.
Yeah, I just don't get it. We used to see this a lot, and I feel like our social media has been a lot better over the last sort of 12 months or so, and they've just been honest with us about stuff, and they've not overplayed stuff, and now we're doing a little bit well. I don't know if that's why they've jumped on it. Look, it's not that big of a deal, but we're a Bradford City podcast. We're going to talk about everything Bradford City. and that's obviously in the news this week. So I just find it strange. Gareth, anything that you think or you want to add on that, mate?
I'm just trying to get me head around why they released the information the day before the supposed announcement.
Yeah,
because the announcement's Wednesday, isn't it? Not Thursday.
And
it's backward.
To build on that as well. In previous seasons, we've seen them do these campaigns because our season tickets have been really cheap, and it's been a positive to say, actually, watch this video. We're doing you a good deal. We're doing you a mega deal. Now, look, this isn't me breaking it down, saying, look, it's awful that they've increased the prices. I can understand why they've increased the prices, but to make a bit of a song and dance about it and then put it up 50 quid, and that's 150 quid in the past 3 years, it's gone up. I just think it's not maybe the right thing to do. To make a song and dance about it. Again, is that cynical of me? I don't know, but I just felt like it was a little bit pointless and a little bit of an own goal, if I'm honest. I don't think the reaction's been that mad, has it, on X like it has been in the past, because we're doing well. We're watching good football at home. You're happy to pay for it. But I just think if this had happened a couple of seasons ago, it might not have gone down quite as well. So, season ticket, early bird for an adult this season without any add-ons, any bantams, by any of that, for just a general person like me, is 349 quid. As mentioned, that has gone up 50 quid from last season. And in total, that's up 150 quid in the last 3 years. And then 5 seasons ago or so, we were paying 149. So it's gone up about 200 quid in that period of time, which is a lot of money, to be fair, for families, especially in Bradford, you might say. However, far better product. When you look at the numbers over these last 2 seasons specifically, 13 home wins from 17 this season, massive return if you look at what you're paying for those wins. And last season in League 2, we won 17 games out of 23. So that's amazing, isn't it? When you think of the value, see that's in last 2 years, 30 wins you've seen for your price you're paying. So that alone, it makes it worth it. And look, all of us sat on here, generally, you probably pay 500-600 quid for your season ticket because it's what you do on a Saturday. So we might be a little bit different, but
Gareth,
we've got to a point where Gareth shaking his head too much. But there is people that it probably might push out a little bit. If there's a family of 4, with 2 kids, that's a lot of money to be paying. And 100 quid for 2 adults, like that increase, it's felt, innit? Especially in Bradford. So I want to put it to you guys. What are your thoughts on it? I'm still quite positive about it. I'm quite happy to pay because I'm just paying for myself. Not a problem. And you can pay it monthly, which is a really good addition over the last sort of 5 or so years when they've been doing it. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
I feel like I think it always had to go up, didn't it? Really, like went from 149 to 198. Everything's gone up. My main bugbear with it is they only ever give you one payday to pay it. They drop it, and then it's like you've got one full payday to pay it. Whereas if you had a little bit longer, because like I'm going to pay mine in full because I don't really want any more direct debits coming out. But yeah, they just seem to drop it on you. I understand they do it near end of season because we literally could be in the championship, so they obviously want to do it when there's a bit of jeopardy whether you're going to go up or not. But yeah, they just don't give people enough time, I don't think.
No. Any thoughts from you two? Don't seem asked.
I think we've got to a tipping point here where I think the price is good, but if next year comes, you're going to be hard pressed to push it again because we're at that sort of level where we go from sort of 350 to 400, then it's starting going the other way. And I agree with it going up to where it is now. I've not a problem with that. It's the fact that our mantra was used to be built on cheap season tickets. And now, in a sense, I'm glad we've got away from that because clubs used to pull us up on that. Other opposition fans or fans only go because it's cheap. Well, next season, if we pull similar numbers, 16, 17,000, they're not turning up because it's cheap because the tickets aren't cheap anymore. They're still good value for money, but the difference between the 149 like it was 5-6 years ago, the 349 now, is a big difference. And as Ash alludes to, a lot of costs have gone up. So the costs have to go up anyway. They can't stay the same because of inflation and things like that. But I think we're at that point now where people can still afford it. But I think if it went up again, then fans would say, well, I don't know, maybe we'll just pick and choose as games and stuff like that. But I've no problem with it going up to that price. I think it's fair. And if you want decent football and you want to bring better players in, then unfortunately, as we stand, we're going to have to pay part of it as well. Or hopefully,
I think you make a good point.
Sorry, go on.
Go on, mate. So, no, you finish what you're going to say. Sorry.
This is hopefully we can bring some investment in that matches the money that the season ticket increase also brings in. So it's all right relying on the fans to put the money in the pockets or put their hands in the pockets to bring the money, but we could also do with the owner realising that even if we're in League One next year, or regardless what division, that he's going to need to bring a little bit more investment to the table to make us that League One top 5, top 6 team every year. That's obviously if we don't go up. We still need to bring a little bit more investment. If we go up, then that investment's going to have to be even more. It ain't going to be a little bit. We're going to have to look and think, right, where do we bring this extra outward investment in? So not that we can compete, but at least we can be competitive.
Yeah, and on that, on the bit that you said earlier about if it goes up again, it might become a problem. If you said to me now, the season ticket's going to be 400 quid, I'm a little bit taken aback by that. I think that is a lot, especially like you say, if you're buying 2 adults and you're buying kids on top of that, it becomes an expensive day out. However, I've got a different view on this. It's gone up last couple of seasons, but people have kept renewing. Now, to me, when you think about selling a football club, all this sort of stuff is taken into account. Owning your ground, how many season tickets holder you've got, and what they're bringing in. So people look at the income that you're getting. Now, if you're looking at buying a club, most of the people these days want to know that you've got a really stable income that you can build on. And if people are paying a little bit more and still renewing, that makes us more attractive from a buyer's perspective, that we're paying 350 quid, 400 quid a month. A month, bloody hell, a year for a season ticket. I think there's more to this than meets the eye, because it's strange that we've totally come away from that over these last few years, because that was a big thing, like Al said. Cheap season tickets, to be inclusive for everybody, Bradford demographic, blah, blah, blah. Everybody bought into it. I know that you said people took the piss, but I've never seen it as a bad thing. I think it's brilliant, making it affordable for everybody. However, 200 quid on each season ticket over the last sort of 5 or 6 years is a lot of money. And you've got more season ticket holders probably than we've ever had. I just think that there's more to it. And maybe that's me dreaming, but I do think that there is things in the pipeline. And I don't think that Stefan Rupp is here forever. And I feel like if he gets us to the Championship, we'll be on the market to be sold absolutely 100%. And I think all these little bits and pieces that they're doing, and commercially, we've been as good as we've ever been. Hats up to Ryan Sparks and all the guys there doing it. I feel like we're being built up to be sold. That's my view on it. That's the reason I think we've done that. Gareth, you're nodding, you're shaking your head in amongst all that. What are your thoughts on that, buddy? You don't think?
No, to be honest, I've not thought about that investment or takeover part of it. But yeah, that does make sense. One thing I was going to say is the match day ticket, is that 25 or 20?
25, and if you buy it before the day, it's 20, is it?
Right.
And then on the day, it's 25. Is that right?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because I was going to say there's not really much scope to put it much higher than it is now. Maybe 400, but
because obviously you're not getting any value, are you?
Yeah, exactly. So
the only way it does make sense if we get to a point where we're selling out, and then you can pretty much charge what you want, because it doesn't make a difference. But we're not near that at all, unless we get to the Championship, which at that point, when you're knocking on the door of the Premier League and you've got that momentum, possibly it may be a problem, but I can't see it in the most near future.
And under 12, 23 quid, that's still That's still really good. That perfect.
Brilliant, because like you say, for the family tickets, it makes it affordable. It's just for you and I think Ash is probably the only one that's a little bit different here. You're only paying for one ticket because your missus isn't interested. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we can debate that as well, Ash. Good thing for you, but for me, I'm quite happy that I get my time away. But yeah, for two of you living together, that's a big outgoing. You know, if you're paying both yours in full, Ash, you know what's that? £700 out of your pocket straight away, and you've got a month to pay it. It's not a long time, is it, buddy? And I know you alluded to that.
To be fair, I pay for my
money,
grandma who's had bird falling on her seat as well.
This is you're paying £350 for a shitty seat. I mean, come on. Yeah, you need to write a strongly worded
There's no value there, is there?
There's not value. You get shit on your seat. Your missus doesn't have a fucking hand dryer. Anything else to add to the list, Ash? Anything else? I think you need to write a strongly worded email, to be fair. I'm paying what are we paying? £1,000 for 3 seats. One's got shit on. She's got cold hands because she can't bloody dry her hands after she's had a piss. And
good job of doing
we're
well.
winning every game. Yeah, exactly. If we were doing poorly, it'd be hard work, Ash. I'm telling you, mate. So yeah, look, £15 a game. I think it works out at now with the increase, which is still really good value when you look at things across the EFL and the Premier League and what have you. But yeah, I think they're one step away from losing supporters. I said this a few years ago when they did the increase. I thought we wouldn't get the renewals we did, but people have real interest in Bradford Sport at the minute. I think that will continue as long as you don't make that jump to an extra £50 and then £50 on that, unless we are playing Championship football next season. Looking at the bottom of that Premier League as well, Spurs away be ridiculous, wouldn't it? Can you even imagine that? I'll look at him nodding.
I'm just looking at my phone there. They're losing 3-1, aren't they?
Are they? Who are they playing tonight?
Palace.
And they're in amongst it as well. Palace, they just won above Spurs. Wow, interesting. So that stadium I want to go to. I'm all against modern football and modern football stadium, but that stadium's a beauty in it, and I would like to visit it. To be fair. So Port Vale game, we've seen that it's been rearranged to Wednesday from Tuesday of next week. Interestingly about this one is that the club apparently knew about the proposed rearrangement about 10 days ago, but for whatever reason, they told us a little bit later, and now we've found out it's on the Wednesday. A lot of people have arranged travel. I know people personally that have booked hotels. It's a little bit annoying. I understand that they've got to rearrange fixtures, and some people might argue that actually it's not that bad because it's only a day after, and it doesn't really mess our fixtures up too much. But I just don't think that the EFL take fans into consideration when they're doing these things and they're making these changes. Obviously, Port Vale have got a cup run and they're doing pretty well there. At least they're doing well at Summit. A little bit annoying, isn't it? I've got a ticket, and unfortunately, I'm snookered either way. As all you know, I've got a second child due next week. On Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday actually. So either way, I'm knackered. I've got no chance. I know it's only 2 hours away or whatever, but if I miss that, yeah, I won't have any bollocks anymore.
I don't think you have to explain yourself here, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Some people might suggest I do. Why have you not going to any games? But yeah, that might be why. So, has anybody actually got tickets for Port Vale? Are you planning on going, or have you changed your plans due to the rearrangement? Or Ash, no. I know you go to a lot.
Yeah, I've got tickets. I decided I won't go in prior to rearrangement, to be fair, because I'm fed up of going there on a weekday and getting done, to be honest. Yeah, it's not a very fun away at the moment, so I've decided against it.
Hey, at least Tollard didn't play in this time because he tore us a new arsehole, didn't he, last time we went there? Because we went there with a lot of promise, didn't we, in League Two? We thought we'll give him a bit of a game, and we took a really good crowd, and it was a good atmosphere.
That night.
We were awful, weren't we?
Yeah.
They were good, but we were poor. Robbie Williams were happy, wasn't he? Not bad. But yeah. Good surname, but he's a bit of a weirdo, isn't he? But yeah, thankfully I'm not going. But do you know, it's we talk about away games and struggling, but that should be one that we're winning. It's an opportunity to actually put 3 points on the board away from home against a poor team. Do you think Do you think we've got a chance in it? I know we need to speak about Orient first, but Gareth, any thoughts on Port Vale? Did you go to that game last season?
No, I didn't. No, but I do remember watching it because it was just one of them. Another heartbreaking one, really. It's just one of those where you think, come on, let's just push, but just nothing there. Yeah, I remember watching it. It was awful.
They brought the lines in as well that game. I don't know if you remember, but they actually on the pitch, I think they brought them in like a yard or something because we had the wing backs and the width from last season, and it was something that we did really well with, and actually narrowed the pitch. Whether I've imagined that or not, I don't know, but I'm sure they did, and I'm sure Darren Moore said something about it in the post match. He's obviously now gone on it as well, to be fair, but yeah, it's one of them. I think it's a bit shit the way that they've done it. But I'd rather just get that game out of the way and move on, to be fair. Now, the next thing I guess we'll naturally talk about is the Orient game. So that's the next game on Saturday. They're doing really poorly. They're in a relegation scrap. Now, again, sliding doors moment in football, how your fortunes can change. They were in the playoff final last year, and they played Charlton. Obviously got beat. And now they're struggling to survive in League One. Just again, it shows how fortunes can change in football. We've talked about how we expect us to sort of line up, but is that a potential banana skin based on the squad that they've got, or do you think it's another 3 points in the bag, or what should be based on our form at home?
I think we'll be absolutely fine at home, to be honest, because we go back to Reading game. We played really well. We kind of played like we were at home, you know. Baldwin putting his balls across, Tariq and Bobby linking up well. So it's not like we've had a bad performance. So if you just start how we played that game, we'll be absolutely fine, hopefully.
And do you think the fact that there's jeopardy involved, so now we get into the latter stages of the season, they are scrapping to survive. And I think that will work in our favour because I think they'll be open. They're going to need 3 points, as we do. Yeah. And I think that'll suit us, Ash. Do you, mate?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we always seem to play well when teams come at us. Like, yeah, the years of playing at Valley Parade and teams coming to sit back and just frustrate us, we really struggle. But if teams come at us, we can beat anyone on our day. We proved it at the beginning of the season, didn't we? Yeah,
and that's why I think that it's a good fixture at a good time for us. I know that we're up and down at the minute, whether we're home or away. It depends on. But I think it's a good time to play him, and hopefully it'll be 3 points in the bag. Oh, look, Al's got a guest.
Oh, God, yeah.
Is that Christine?
What's it? Sneaking out. Christine, come back, Christine. He can't hear us, can he? He's thinking what they're talking about.
No, he's thinking, what are they on about?
little does he know. I don't even know if he'll be able to listen to this. Is he old enough to listen to your ramblings about Christina Aguilera?
Well, he's 21, so I like to think he's got visions of Christina Aguilera's fun bags, but I don't know.
You'll have to ask him.
I'd be sagging now, might I don't know.
Look at as he takes a swig. Gareth, any thoughts from you? Not on Christina Aguilera, of course.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the table now. Actually, it's tight down there, isn't it? The table.
Whoa.
Oh, brilliant!
I don't know if this is going to seem
known
like
as a Garethism, that innit?
Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, tell us about that. You're waffling again. Go on.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. So they really need a win. I mean, there's only really Port Vale that probably won't catch them. There's Northampton and Rotherham below them. Surprising that. Yeah. I think it's like Ash says, you just got to go for it, haven't you? And that them being open is obviously going to help us with our style of play. So keep pressing them.
Careful what you're saying. I'm a bit worried about what's going to come out of your mouth.
Keep pressing them, and then we're fine.
It's you and Al I'm concerned about. Ash is absolutely perfect tonight. But you two with your innuendos. That's why we'll put you at the bottom of this on this video. You can't laugh at that. Grow up, Al. Grow up. I'll spit your beer out, for God's sake.
If only. That's not beer, that's rosé, is that?
Pint of rose. Paradise.
It's pint of wine.
It's the only thing I can reach. It's the same thing. The only thing that's within reach is here. Look, that's what it is there. Look. Probably Blue Nun or something. I don't know. Dolly Rose. God only knows what that is. Some shite from B&M or something.
You're going to be shifting around your
Oh.
cookie.
One step away from Archie's at Foster Square. That, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you look well down there. And I can't believe you've got a pint of wine. That's thrown me now.
Foster's.
Oh yeah, beautiful glass. Yeah, land down under. Now, Orient, Al, any thoughts? This is it. I know you might have had a sniff at Barmaid's apron, but we're playing Orient on Saturday. So
I'm trying to think of anything that don't come out in a sexual innuendo.
Yeah, there's just muck in your mind, isn't it, at the minute?
Yeah. I mean, after seeing those porn mags in Krakow, yeah. I think it'll be a hard game. No easy games in this division and all that, but I genuinely believe. What the hell am I rambling on about here? Hold on. No, yeah, I'm catching you. I'm catching what we had last week.
Yeah, it's contagious. Clearly, I can't sit you next to him.
I think as long as we keep Ballard quiet, I think it should be a regulation home win. He's the one thing they've got going for them at the moment. They look like they're conceding. They can concede every game, but they've got goals in them as long as he's on the pitch. But generally, any game that we play at home at the moment, I'm really confident. We look a different team at home than we do away. Away, I don't know. There's something lacking away. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but at home we're so confident, and teams do come to Valley Parade, and I don't know. I think they know what our reputation is at Valley Parade now, and I think it affects them. I think we genuinely are one of those sides that teams look and think, I don't want to come to Valley Parade at the moment. They would rather players at their place.
What's lacking away is bollocks from the players. That's all it is. And it's that bollocks to see a game out and to get a win. We saw it again, they capitulated. And they need to sort it out. It's up to them. I mean, look, people put blame on Alexander's door for subs, tactical decisions, blah, blah. And he has been at fault, as I mentioned earlier a few times. But what's missing on the pitch is bollocks. I mean, the away, we're selling out every away allocation. So this whole thing about it being a problem, and Deck mentioned this on the last episode, about a problem with having 18,000 fans behind you at home and not having that away. You've still got, a rowdy bunch of blokes shouting and hollering at you to do well. So I don't buy into it. I just think it needs to come from them. And it's kind of like a psychological thing that they've got into the rut of losing and they feel like they're never going to get that win again because it just doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere. But yeah, at home, like you say, pretty confident. But yeah, it's a bit of a concern away.
It used to be opposite as well, didn't it? Really, like we used to be poor at home, and we used
before
to
Graham Alexander came in
at home away.
Absolutely. Can you remember Derek Adams' seasons when we'd score a goal and that'd be that? And Mark Hughes was pretty much the same. And for whatever reason, just sort of hiding on the pitch. But got a group of players that love it at home, but away, don't know. Mad.
Alexander deserves so much credit for turning it around, to be fair.
This is kind of what I'm getting at, where it's not him to blame because look at the home form and look where he's got us to. It's got to come from players. There's 11 of them on pitch. Simon Jordan says this all the time on Talk Sport that fans always seem to blame everybody but the players, and they're the ones that are wearing the shirt that are getting paid the mega money to go and do it. So bloody do it, lads. Anyway, less of that. So, moving on. Now, we've done a bit of planning this week. I mean, you won't believe that. We're Al having a pint of wine and some of the things we've been speaking about this evening. But I asked the guys to come up with some novel ideas to put a stop to time wasting. Now, it's an absolute pain in the ass, and it's been getting worse over the last few seasons. We've seen goalkeepers feigning injury, going down. When a goalkeeper goes down, obviously, they don't go off the field like other players do when they've been down a certain amount of time. If they need treatment, they've got to step off. So I've asked the guys to come up with novel ideas to put a stop to it. Now, I shall start with Ash on this one.
Yeah. You mentioned goalkeepers there. That's the absolute worst thing nowadays, and it's quite a new thing. It's literally the last couple of seasons, isn't it? It's like it started. So I've got a bit of an outrageous idea. Obviously, we've got a lot of AI around nowadays. So when a keeper goes down, AI can quickly check it to see if he could genuinely be injured by how he's gone down, and if he hasn't, then he can be subbed off for fail. If they don't have a keeper on bench, they can put an outfield player in. I know it's completely outrageous, but that's what I came up with.
It is outrageous, but I love it. I absolutely love the idea of that. It's like a VAR, but just for a goalkeeper, just to see if they're faking it or not.
Yeah,
Like it. It's got a thumbs up from me, that one, mate. And any sort of, there should be some jeopardy and there should be something involved in it when it does happen. Now, I'm a bit concerned about asking Al this question. And what's going to come out of his mouth next, to be honest. But I shall. I know that Gareth's probably got a good answer because he's done some homework, like Ash has. Al, what's your idea to put a stop to it?
My only problem is I haven't done any homework, so I'm having to think of something on the fly. But what could you actually do to stop it? I don't know. Go on.
I'm going to come back to you. Have a think about it.
You don't have to be realistic. Like, listen to mine.
I love that. Just having some Dutch courage from his Polish wine. Gareth, I'll come to you while I was thinking, which is quite worrying. But Gareth, go on. You go.
So my big thing is when players fake injuries to waste time.
Is that your only big thing, Gareth?
You give over.
Delete the episode.
Give over. Yeah, that's it. It's a wrap. Cut that bit out. Sorry, I put you off your stride there, didn't I? Sorry, mate.
Sorry.
Little start. Come on. Right.
Compose yourself, man.
So the annoying thing is when they get treated for their injury, and then they have to go off, and then they come on, and then they're sprinting at 20 mile an hour or whatever. It absolutely boils my blood, honestly.
I like that you stopped yourself there.
Yeah,
go on.
Stop myself here. So what I'd do is to stop that, and it'd stop it in a week. 5 minutes. You got to be off for 5 minutes. So it's not like a little bit like a sin bin, yeah. But I think it'd just get rid of all of those. Even like like they always say, it's an impact injury and stuff like that, and they need time for the pain to go away or whatever. But it's just rubbish. Just go off for 5 minutes if you really have to, and then you can come on. But it's because it's always the team that is, it's the advantages to the team who's got a player injured, not the other team. And it's just it doesn't sit right with me at all.
I guess part of the problem is there's going to be an issue where there is a genuine injury, and it's how you determine that or not. But
who's going off? Who's going off anywhere?
Yeah, so it's a tough one. Now, to me, what I'd like to see is the opportunity for the team that are playing against the team that have got a man injured to throw another player on the pitch. I think that'd be ace and cause absolute chaos. And the more they do it, the more players you can put on. I think that'd be ace. Either that or multi-ball. So at the time that it happens, you've got two balls on the pitch where you can score. Obviously, I'm saying this in absolute jest.
I thought mine were mental.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. I'm worried about what this man below me is going to come out with on the video.
Pints of wine for everyone.
Yeah, pints of wine all round. But just before he does come in, for me, all that needs to happen is if it's a goal, any player on the pitch that's outfield behind the goalkeeper, you go off the pitch for a little bit longer than what the delay's been. I think needs to happen. So if it's 30 seconds that you're down for, add another 30 seconds on. So it's like a sin bin, like saying away. If it's a goalkeeper, then one of the outfield players should go off instead of the goalkeeper on that team for the same amount of time. To give him a little bit of a disadvantage because it's just silly. And in that time as well, rather than the players all going to have a team talk and talk about what they need to do defensively and the shape-wise, all the players need to come into the centre circle while that's happening so they don't get any advantage from stopping the play. It's quite straightforward. Now, Al, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, to expand on what you've just said, something like Super Mario, where you get like power-ups. So you can like drop banana skins on floor or something, or oil in the penalty area. So when goalkeeper comes over the cross and slips on his backside or something like that, or like put some sort of thing in ball that makes it go faster. You know, kind of gives you an advantage. But you can choose your advantage.
Try this
Guidelines on an iPad. I've thought a lot about this in the last 30 seconds. You know what I mean? So yeah, so like or maybe like you can shoot stuff at goalkeeper from crowd or something. You know, if he's cheating, you can hit him with something. Yeah, throw darts at him or something. I mean, or smear dog pedigree chum on him or something, and let dogs chase him around pitch or something. I don't know. I don't know. Try something different. You know, it might stop it, especially if a dog starts sniffing at him, and you know, seriously, it has become a problem. I was talking to a Leeds fan in Jim the other night, and he was saying the Sunderland game there. Sunderland were doing it every opportunity. Players were going down, goalkeeper were going down, and it stopped their rhythm to be able to get any kind of flow going in the game. So we do need to look at it seriously to try to stop it, because look, even we've taken advantage of it. Sam Walker's done it. We've had defenders do it when they've gone down and things like that. So when a player's genuinely down, it doesn't help them when they're genuinely down, because players that are acting, play acting, it kind of takes away from that. So when there's serious injuries and you're complaining at the ref because he's not calling for this, but he's calling for that, it makes the game really hard to referee as well.
Do you think it's the worst thing about football at the minute, like following it? Do you think there's anything that sort of tops it in relation to like that 90 minutes on the pitch?
Well, people just falling over.
I think worst thing in football is VAR, but obviously it doesn't affect us.
Thank God for now.
Yeah.
Unless you get your way and they start fucking watching what goalkeepers are doing on AI.
No, that's fair. That.
Yeah. All right, that one's fair, but the rest of it.
Going back to the time wasting thing.
Yeah, go on.
Keepers, if keepers take too long with it now, they give a corner, don't they? I quite like that, and I've seen it given. So
have you? I've never actually seen that. Where have you seen that? Is that in England?
I can't remember. I've seen it on some highlights recently. But yeah, I think
I've
it's
not
definitely
seen that before. I've heard it though. I know what you're saying. I've heard it. So where the goalkeeper's taking the piss, they've blown up, and so if it's like the 10-second rule, is it? You mean when they've got it for 10 seconds or whatever it is, 8 seconds. So if it's over that, at which point then a corner's given.
Yeah, right, I've seen it given, but I'm not sure what game it was. But I saw it happen, and I think it's
brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. That's
throw-ins as well. You should do it for throw-ins. So if somebody's taking ages, or they run 10 yards and then do it, that thing that they tend to do now, just swap it around, throw it the other way. They might do that, I think, actually, I can't remember. Do they do it?
I don't know.
Do they give it to the team?
There's lots of rules now that have changed. I'm not sure. I mean, we won't remember the days, but I'll remember the days where you used to be able to pass it back to your goalkeeper and they used to be able to pick it up. Crazy, isn't it, to think?
It's weird, actually. You go to that. I remember the year when they brought in the rule, and quite a lot of older fans will remember when we played Luton Town in the quarter-final of the League Cup, and it was away at Luton Town, and Paul Tomlinson, the goalkeeper at the time, picked the ball up, and the rule changed, and they got a free kick from that and scored, if I remember rightly. And that's the first time I remember it.
In the box?
Yeah.
Is that so you can't shoot, you've got to pass it and then bray it in, basically?
It's hard to remember exactly what happened. I just remember the fans behind the goal shouting at him not to pick the ball up, and he did. And from that, I'm sure it was from the resulting free kick they scored. And then they went on to the next round, which was like semi-final. So it was quite a big game at the time.
I mean, thank God that they've not kept that rule. Can you imagine how much we'd lose our heads if the time wasting that they just kept knocking it back to goalie all the time, that'd just be you wouldn't be able to watch it, would
terrible.
you? Can you even imagine? I can't even understand how that was never a rule before. And that's the late 80s, is it, when that came in, or early 80s?
When we played them in
80s
Cup,
anyway, innit?
I think, yeah, 88, I think, if I remember. Yeah.
Wow, that's mad. So there is positive changes in rules. Just another thing, actually, before we do finish for the evening. It's been announced today that the Championship are expanding the playoffs next season to eight teams. No, 6 teams. 6 teams, isn't it? So it'll be as it is at the minute, and then the 2 below. So if it's 3rd to 6th at the minute, innit? 6. Yeah, and then it'll be 7th and 8th as well. I think it's like the National League, in it, whereby the bottom 2, so the 7th and 8th, play each other, don't they? And then what happens then? Is anybody read into it? Is it that
I've not read it yet, to be honest.
I'm just doing it now, actually.
Yeah, while are you doing it? What I think it is they play each other, and then whoever finishes sort of 3rd, let's say, I think they get the advantage of playing. I don't know. No, I don't know. Let Gareth.
I don't
Gareth
agree
tell
with it
us.
anyway.
It seems a bit silly, doesn't it? But then again, it gives everybody an opportunity, doesn't it? But years and years ago, like back in Al's day, in black and white times, and when football was played on potato pitches.
Didn't playoffs come in about mid-90s?
Yeah, and Obsy ran about this on the last one. What he's saying that we're only
87,
first
Ash.
went up.
87, 88,
really?
I think players came in, yeah. Because we played Middlesbrough, and we got beat in 87, 88.
Yeah, because I bet when
But
they
before
brought
that-
in, it was like a bit of a... People probably wouldn't have liked it, because like top 2 should go up, really, shouldn't it? Or top 3, really.
Yeah.
But I like them now, but I don't think they should be extended.
Before
I'd like
that,
to
was
ask
it top
Adam,
3 then? Go on.
Can I just ask Ash, do you think if you finish 3rd that you should get an advantage over finishing 7th?
Yeah,
Oh,
you do.
sorry, 6th.
Yeah.
So,
You do.
because do you think it should be maybe just a one-off playoff game, and 3rd is at home and 6th is away? Something like that. So,
Yeah,
because at the moment,
sounds
with it
fairer,
being 2
doesn't
legs,
it?
so I think at the moment, if you finish 6th, you still get the same 2 games against the team that finishes 3rd, no matter what the points are. Like
If
we
you
had
come in-
January 96.
Yeah, if you come in late to playoffs as well with a bit of momentum, you've got a great chance of winning them, and you could come from like 8th, 9th, 10th, late, and you've got great momentum then, haven't you?
Yeah, that was 96. Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Gareth explains how it works, Ash, why don't you like the idea of it?
Well, we've just been saying then, they're extending it. Like, how far is it going to go? We're going to go down to 10th eventually, just to make it more exciting for TV. Like, where do you draw the line? Is my question.
Now, I'll respond to you, and I will say that I actually like it. I don't think it should happen all the way through the leagues, but I think that the opportunity for because Championship, let's be honest, it's probably the most competitive league in European football. And anybody can beat anybody. We see it week in, week out. I actually think of all leagues where you could do it, it's perfect. I think that literally anybody could beat anybody, and we see it every year. It's not always the team that finishes 3rd that goes and wins a playoff final. I think actually, if you statistically look at it, it's quite rare, funnily enough. I like it, and I think that anything that they can add to that, it keeps somebody like me that at the minute is neutral. Next season, look at a team like us. We could do well on the bounce of going a season in there. Let's say we do go up, and finishing 7th or 8th, it's not a million miles away for us, whereby finishing 3rd absolutely would be. So
yeah.
I think it gives more chances for teams to have an opportunity to play up there, and that money is 200 million just for spending a year in the Premier League, which is mad to me.
I do see it from that perspective, but it'll definitely dwindle down. It'll definitely go into League 1, League 2 eventually. And I'm a big backer of 3 up, 3 down, to be honest. Like, from National League, because
I totally agree with that.
And I just think
I don't understand why
that's the biggest thing that should be changed.
Yeah, I totally agree. National League, the quality in there now, it's like a League 3 in it. Really, let's be honest. And probably the top half of League 3 or National League would probably do all right in League Two. You know,
Look at
if you
Bromley,
opened it.
top of league.
That's what I mean. And if you look at last few seasons, like Stockport, Chesterfield doing all right. Teams that have come up have all done pretty well. Forest Green went down, didn't they, after a couple of seasons? Thank God. But in general, teams have done well. Wrexham flying. So yeah, it shows that there's definitely the only thing you'd say is that it's uncapped in it, spending in National League.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why, and it gives them a bit of an advantage, and that's a frustration to League Two clubs. So when they do come up, they've already got the players and what have you. So yeah, if they did do it, it just needs to become another league, but 3 up, 3 down, in my opinion. Gareth, what are the rules then, mate? Now you've been doing your little bit of work in the background.
So obviously 3rd to 8th will be in the playoffs. Clubs finishing 3rd and 4th will progress automatically to a semi-final. While a one-legged quarter-final would be played with 5th at home to 8th and 6th hosting 7th. Don't know why they've written it like that, but semi-finals will remain as 2 legs, and the final will still take place at Wembley at the end of May. Yeah, it just says there's no plans to put it in place, League One or League Two just yet. Does that make sense? Then have I finished all the explanation? Yeah.
You've read it well, but do you know, to me, that reads that there's actually no advantage in finishing 3rd and 4th because playing more games, I don't think it's a negative thing, unless you get injuries, of course. But you've got that momentum, haven't you, from winning? If you win that quarter final, you know, then you're in its semi-final on the back of a win, and real positive, you know, winning over 2 legs or whatever. So I don't know. I don't think it's a positive for the teams in there, but I think it's brilliant for the Championship as a league, personally.
It's like you said. I think the Championship, I think it probably worked quite well. There's so many big teams in that league. It's almost like, come on, we're nearly there. Why can't we get involved as well, sort of thing? So, and
the prize, like we mentioned, 200 million, and the fact that really the EFL, it's his own body away from the Premier League, so it's like the pinnacle of the EFL as an organisation. So I can see it and understand why they do that, to be fair. And I think that it brings more money into the EFL as an organisation as well, with TV rights and stuff, which you do get a portion of that in some way. So yeah, I like it. But Ash is on the opposite side, and I can understand why. Al, where are you sitting on that one?
It's a difficult one. I think that's the same setup as they've got in the National League, isn't it? Very similar.
Just said that.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Taking blind bit of notice what's going on.
I'm only winding you up.
I personally think I'd like to see a system where the 3rd place gets an advantage for finishing 3rd. How you do it, I'm not too sure, but I think if you finish, the higher up you finish, means you get an advantage over the teams that are finished below you. So, like with us, if we finish, say, 3rd and we get a home tie, that's an advantage for us because our home form is way better than our away form.
Yeah.
So it's in our interest to finish 3rd or 4th in a one-legged playoff. In a 2-legged, it doesn't really matter because both legs kind of weigh each other up, and I'm not too sure where the stats lie as to say where teams finishing 5th or 6th do as opposed to finishing 3rd or 4th. I'd like to see if
I think they do better.
Yeah, I think so.
Possibly. Again, a lot of times it just depends on playoffs if you hit the playoffs as the form team. And sometimes if you suddenly hit the playoffs and you're the team that's bang out of form, then no matter where you finish, you're struggling. It's the teams that seem to come up or sneak up into the playoffs with a really good run. They seem to be the ones that have a really good chance at getting to Wembley and then winning at Wembley because they're on that roll, aren't they?
Absolutely. And talking of Wembley, obviously Orient made it to Wembley last season. That's who we are playing at the weekend. So we'll just do a bit of a prediction to finish off today's episode. Al, I shall start with you as your last one to speak.
2-0.
2-0. Okay. Any scorers just in particular?
Sars and Bobby.
Yeah, about right. Gareth?
I'm going to go 4-0.
Okay, now to
Wow.
us.
Yeah. I just think it's just time. It's time. We we don't hammer anybody, so it's about time we just did. I think Leon might have said it last week or whatever, but I think we're due to give somebody a good hiding. I think scorers.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Not bothered. Pennington. All 4.
Fair enough. All 4, yeah, that bit. Yeah, well, he scored in the last 2, so yeah, it's not beyond all the realms of possibility. Ash.
I was going to say 2-0 with same scorers, but I'll change it up. I'll go 3-1, and I'll go Tariq Wright to score one of them.
Okay, and then the mystery for the other ones. Do you know, the funny thing is that I've not actually kept a tally of any of these, and maybe I should have done to see how we've been doing throughout the sort of 6 or 7 episodes that we've done. But maybe I will from this weekend going forward. I will say 5-0 to City. Look at Gareth's face. Just
slagging me off.
Yeah, just slagging me off. I'm gonna lose my job. No, I'll go 5-0. And I think Stephen Humphries is going to start, and I think he's going to have his best game for us. I think he's going to get either a brace or possibly even a hat trick. On that note, who is the last person to get a hat trick for City at Valley Parade? Now,
Charlie
I'm not going to
White.
ask you now.
I would
Is
say.
it? Is it? I don't know if he did. I know that from my memory, James Anson is a person that sticks out, and I remember him doing it. It's the only hat trick he's ever scored in football. But did Charlie White ever get a hat trick?
Against Bristol
Yeah,
Rovers.
Yeah, we're at lunchtime kickoff, wasn't it?
There we go. I'm going to leave that for the listeners to respond to, but anyway, you've ruined it all. Well done, mate.
Fuck him. I'm probably wrong anyway. I'm probably wrong anyway. I made myself look at swat.
So just so you all know, we do really appreciate you listening along to these podcasts. Well, 3 out of 4 of us do. Al clearly doesn't. We just have another pint of wine just to finish his.
Sponsored by Blue Nun.
Shows your label on your wine just before we close up.
Right,
Look, he's trying to have another sneaky pint before wife catches it. What does it say? That
It's
Jolly.
Dolly. I have absolutely no idea. All I know is it's nice, so I'm going to get me kicked in the
Is
morning.
it Dolly? I wonder if it's Dolly Parton's, because I know that who does one now? Is it Britney Spears or Jennifer Lopez or something? Like one of them superstars does one, so it could be Dolly Parton's. Talking of fun bags. No wonder he's got it in his hands.
It is. If you have a look at back, look, it's her head there. Look, Dolly Parton.
Oh, there you go. Right. See, no, I know me cheap wines. You can always tell when they've got a screw top on them. Corked wines are always more expensive.
I'll be knackered.
Anyway,
£9.50 it has there.
$9.50. Bloody hell!
I've just looked it up.
And he's having pints of it.
Pints at £9.50.
God, wife's going to kick living daylights at me now, isn't she?
She might. I don't think you would stand a chance. You'll be all floozy when you get in that living room. I've had a good time. You're like the dad of Rita and Bob too. Walking in the living room.
Yeah, don't go any further.
Yeah, leave it there.
Right, we'll end it there. Thank you again for listening. Thank you to you guys for coming on, and we'll see you all next week. Cheers.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers.